Dink Reynolds.
Can you guys hear me?
Oh, yeah.
We can hear
All
you
right.
and see you.
Sweet.
Welcome to the show.
Thanks for having me.
What's up, brother?
Did you know that this was
How you doing, man?
video?
Good.
What's
Yeah,
up,
no, I
Dink?
did. Yeah, I was in already. I was watching you guys, and then I thought you guys weren't doing it, so I crapped it out and then logged back in. So
Don't do that to us anymore, Dink.
Darren Hill on our social media said, "Oh, the other Darren. Remember, I'm the
Yes.
smart Darren."
oh yeah, here we go.
I
Yeah.
proved that yesterday.
Dink,
He's
man.
concussed, Darren. He's been in the wars. This guy right here. Yeah,
That's right,
you'll
that's
see
right.
him down
Dink is
there.
a high school teammate of D-Mac, of course, and a good friend of our show. What's up, my man? How's Winnipeg treating you?
It's not too bad. The snow's melting here. We had probably about a foot of it last week, but we're okay now.
We're getting.
Are you guys getting snow right now?
Yeah,
Oh,
we're
yeah,
getting a little
it's
bit.
snowing outside.
We're getting
Good.
a little dusting here. Nothing like what
He
you
said
guys get.
good.
Are
That's
you guys
for sure.
on lockdown like Ontario, or is that just Ontario?
It's just Ontario. We were on lockdown from basically Canadian Thanksgiving until February 1st.
Wow.
Yeah, it was brutal.
So-
Non-essential shopping. Everything was roped off. It was terrible.
Were
So
you
yeah,
able
right
to-
now it's just Ontario.
Were you able to leave your house, like go outside? I mean, it was
Oh
cold,
yeah,
but you
yeah.
couldn't
No,
leave
they're
outside,
they're on a stay home, so they're you can't golf in Ontario right now. All the golf courses are closed, even
Wow.
though they're just opening, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, so they're on a stay home order. We weren't quite that bad, but it was bad.
So
All right.
tell me about growing up with Mac.
Well, I didn't actually grow up with him. He moved there to attempt to start his hockey career, and but I had 3 solid years with him in high school. And like I said to you in my message earlier, some of the things can't be repeated on this show. But we had some good times.
It's called the Fifth Amendment in the United States, bro, and that's to protect you. Exactly. Just say that some of the shenanigans and some of the festivities is in high school for 3 great years that where I played Belleville. That was where I got drafted to Detroit from. But Dink was one of my hockey playing buddies, and I think it was just sort of here. Why do I preach culture all the time, and why did it work for our culture, or me coming into the Red Wings, and you being a fan, but watching how it all worked for us to win cups? But it comes back to sort of going to high school and stuff like that. But it's sort of the culture of togetherness in the Canadian culture, but we preached it back then. So when I'm telling all the Wings fans about culture and stuff, I've been doing it all my life, right? You
Right,
know, the way
right.
it was. So tell them a little bit about what it was like, and tell them that we played rugby, and tell them that we banged it out.
We did bang it out. Yeah, it was funny when Maz had commented earlier on in your shows when Fish was talking about rugby, and Maz said, "What do you know about rugby?" I had a good howl here. It was hilarious to play with. I don't call him D-Mac just so we're in the know here. I call him Carts.
Yeah.
D-Mac didn't start until he got to Detroit, so I still refer to him as Carts. All
Small
Belleville people
caveat, this clown and Killenbeck, who's the other guy I grew up with, stole a cart sign from the golf course and put it in my locker.
That's how you got
right
it.
where it's right, and I had it, I kept it, whatever. It said Carts, and so that's what I think about. But yeah, it's how nicknames go. So sorry, bro. Go ahead.
It is, yeah. So it was, like I said, it was hilarious playing rugby beside Carts because he was a beast, and obviously from being the captain of the Bulls helped, and the rest of the guys on the team were athletes, but they weren't future pro athletes. But I was constantly yelling for the ball, constantly. And, sometimes if he felt sorry for me, he'd look over and say, "Here you go, Dink." Other times he's like, "I got this." And there'd be 3 or 4 guys hanging off him. And it wasn't like he was being selfish. He just knew that he could cut the other way, and guys were just falling off on the side. And I was just running along going, "Carts." But yeah, no, it was good times.
It's because you were fragile out there on the wing.
It was.
You're a little bit. We didn't need you to get hit. I mean, you're fragile. You had a lot.
Well, I was the
of,
goalie, right? So
Well, that's the thing. You weren't that bright. But hey,
well, that was Belleville.
But so tell us about your because you got a little podcast thing going with your son Jack about trading cards and stuff. That's a big world and stuff. I was interested in that. Before
It
you
really
talk
is.
more about me.
Yeah, it really has picked up. Like cards go in surges, right? So early '90s when the market got flooded, there was a big surge, and then it dropped off. And you probably know from all your rookie cards you've talked about. Every year there's a different market for cards. So the last couple years it's really picked up. And about a decade ago, when I was living in Kitchener, I did a show with a guy, and it was called the Hockey Card Show, real original. But we would open up packs of hockey cards and basically talk about the players. We didn't talk about the cards per se, more just the content of the packs. So that's kind of my thing. That's what I like to do. My son's an avid collector, and he likes to talk about the cards. He likes to collect the cards and the value of the cards. So we kind of hit off each other. I still want to talk about the guys and the stats and stuff, and so I've kind of swayed him that way. But yeah, it's called the Dink and Jack Show, and we open up packs of cards and talk about it.
Listen, everybody's got this, and it's usually the grandmother in the family that keeps the albums, that keeps the history.
Yes.
His nickname is from now on Grandma Dink, because he comes out for it's like so. To keep things together, and not only our connection and our buddy Tom Killenbeck, who I'm talking about, because we were together, but the history. If you follow him, I learn about, because he'll keep posting up whose birthdays it is. This guy played here in this year in history, all this stuff like that, but about things that I know and that I love. And if there's any questions, I get people to call Dink, because if anybody knows in the hockey circle, well, he knows because he's been passionate. And it's sort of, as I look at him, is that along the way, he's sort of been the historian. And sort of, he's been keeping notes, and that's why he's the grandma. He keeps the albums, and he keeps everything going. And it's amazing how, in different ways, and how you've passed it down.
So he's got some Maz in him.
Oh,
Yeah.
He's got tons
a little
of
bit of
Maz
Maz
in him, dude. Tons of Maz in him. Yeah, like seriously.
Well, whose birthday is it today, Maz? Whose birthday is it today?
It's Slava
Hitler's.
Fetisov and
Hitler's.
I
Adam
thought it was his
Ernie's.
second birthday.
Hitler's. You know what's that? Hitler was born today. No, and it was Easter Sunday. And also Abraham Lincoln was killed on
That was last week.
no, but on Easter Sunday.
Oh, okay.
On April what?
On Friday, last Friday.
Yeah, that was on Easter Sunday.
Can you
Wait,
tell what day this is, by the way?
It's 420, baby.
Okay.
Oh my God.
It feels
Why
like
are you doing that?
It feels like
Maz?
2020.
You don't want to blow. Don't blast Maz's shit right now. It's the first time he's taken an edible ever.
Oh my God.
I know it'll hit you.
Hey.
Be careful, Maz.
Hey, Dink. First, I want to say awesome hat. Love,
That's pretty cool, eh?
love that you are sporting puck support.
Yeah, absolutely.
Great cause. Everybody should support it. Check it out. But also, hey, so today it was announced that the OHL is shutting down, which sucks for these young guys. That's a league typically it's 16 to 21. Do you know, are those kids able to play for maybe a different league, or how is that going to impact the draft?
Well, that is a really good question, and I know you guys have had Drapes on the show. It's really probably impacted scouting because I can speak on out here really well because they played. Well, they didn't play in Manitoba, but they had a bubble for the Western Hockey League. They had bubbles all over. They had a bubble in Alberta, a bubble in Saskatchewan, two bubbles in BC, and a bubble in the U.S., right? Just so they could get some games in. 24 games, and yesterday they canceled the playoffs in the Western Hockey League. Today, like you said, they shut down the O, and so that's 450 guys that aren't going to get to play. And the writing was on the wall. We're in April. Like, I don't think they were going to have a league anyway, so it's not a big surprise, but it's still terrible.
Yeah.
So I don't know. I don't know what it does for scouting for the draft. You kind of got to piss into the wind and go by the guys' stats last year. And some guys, and Darren knows this better than anyone, you could have a breakout year. He had a breakout year in his final year at junior. If it could happen to guys, and it obviously it isn't going to if they don't get to play. So,
how about what happened out in Vancouver? I mean, the Canucks were shut down for a long time as well with COVID. They finally came back, and they're playing again. But do you think the NHL might even go into a bubble for the playoffs?
Well, there's been talk of it, but I can't see it happening. But who knows? Who knows? Like they're kind of bubbled in their own divisions anyway. Really.
True.
And as Darren had said earlier in this show, like the rivalries are kind of a farce now, like they compared to what they were when we were younger, when they were good.
But the Canadian division is really good. I mean,
Well, the Battle of Alberta.
Well,
the
it just
Battle of
Toronto
Alberta-
just
The
Right.
Battle of Alberta is always, respectively, you cannot put them in there because it's usually pretty good. It's the game that has softened. But this year, you put a guy like Kachuk on the one team, and it'll spark it up because you see the animosity that builds, and it's a true hate.
Right, exactly. But having said that, Calgary's probably not going to get in, right? So they've had the battle throughout the season, but there's not going to be that battle in the playoffs. Winnipeg, Toronto is now somewhat of a rivalry, which is just bizarre to me because I'm used to Toronto having rivalries from the old Norris division, right?
Of course.
So I don't know. It's just crap all the way around. We'll see. I hope that the playoffs are good for the NHL, but as far as the OHL goes, I just feel terrible for the kids.
Yep.
Yeah.
I can't even imagine my old college roommate. His son plays for Mississauga, and he's missed his entire third year in the O. So that's awful. Last year was his draft year, but he might have got picked later rounds this year. Who knows? And you think of all the money, like for Ontario, the Ontario Hockey League is $128 million of direct impact on the economy and $256 million of indirect impact. So that's a lot of cash.
It is. Did you happen
And
to
a
see
lot
Patrick-
of jobs. 400. I just wrote it down before. 327 full-time jobs and 831 part-time jobs lost because that league was shut down.
Wow.
Wow.
That is something on
Wow.
Canada. Dink, the Dinker is in there with us on the hook. Darren's high school buddy and, of course, friend of the show. Did you see Patrick Marleau break Gordie Howe's record last night?
I did. And like records are meant to be broken. Obviously, I'm a Wings fan, and it's too bad that the Gordie won't still sit up there at the top. But you got to give Marleau his props, right? That's a long time to play and a long time to stay healthy, and
It's a lot
It
of
is
time
what it
to
is.
lace up the skates.
He
Exactly.
just wouldn't be a name. His name
Yeah, but
does
that-
not come off the tip
No,
of my
it-
tongue when I talk about
Right.
great NHL players and careers. I just
well,
forget about
never
them.
mind greats, even the
Yeah,
guys that
good.
are up there, like
Yeah.
Messier, Francis,
Yeah.
Gordie. Like it just looks weird with his name up there,
It
but
does.
whatever.
By the way, Ronnie Francis, you were right on the Kraken. He's the GM, not the coach, but the GM of the
He's
new
the GM, yeah.
Kraken.
The Kraken.
The Kraken. Hey,
Hey,
Dinker, man. Go ahead.
I got
Go ahead,
one.
Mac.
Hey, Dink, did you see the knee-on knee hit Alex Edler and Zach Hyman the other day, Sunday?
He's out for 4 to 6. Is that correct?
That's
I think that's what I read.
Could have been a lot worse.
It could have been a lot worse. And what did Edler get? 2 games?
Yeah, 2 games.
That
It
was
was
dirty.
one of those that
That was a Ulf Cam all over again, really.
well, yeah, but it wasn't Ulf Samuelson, Cam Neely, Brian Marchand vicious. It was like, oh, I got caught, and you know what? Oops. And
Right.
it's like pay your time, do the crime, and
That's
it just
funny you
looked
brought up
bad to
Mush.
get away. Oh, I know
Yeah.
Mush.
But yeah, he stuck it out all the time.
I know. Him and
His
I had a
knee, his
fight
knee.
in Edmonton.
Yes, we
stuck
got
it.
that. We got that. Dinker. Hey, did you see that video we put up before, the Battle of Quebec? Did you see
Yeah,
that?
I did.
How
Yeah,
great
that
was,
game's
how
great.
great was that
Yeah.
battle, huh?
Yeah, that is great. And it's funny that you said that because it's awesome to hear Mickey and Bob Cole.
Yes.
And, the talk of the Hunter brothers might go at it. And
Oh, my
yeah,
God.
I watched that game as a kid in my kitchen. My parents weren't hockey fans, so I used to have to watch the games sitting in the kitchen with the little
With small
12-inch
TV.
on the black and white on the counter. Yeah.
That was the way my friend's dad was a big soccer fan. He was a big he's from Italy. Could hardly speak English, and every day he'd be watching on the little 12-inch kitchen TV the soccer games with the lines going through, and he'd be
Right.
Roma 0, Naples alla 0. It was 0-0 every time I went in there. And then there'd be a pot of spaghetti sauce on the thing. I'd go get it. Hey, Mr. Folk. Mr. Folk, how's the game? Hey, Tomas, 0 alla 0. I'm like, oh, great. I'm going to have some more spaghetti. Oh, please, mancha, Tomas, mancha.
Your balls are so tender.
Oh my!
Dink, thanks for coming on with us, kid.
Yeah, good to see
All right,
you,
thanks
bro.
for having me, guys.
We'll catch
All
up
right,
soon.
we'll see you soon.
Yeah, for sure. Thanks for having me, guys.
Talk to you, man.
Good
Darren
times.
Dink Reynolds. Oh,
There.
man.